disclosure. Sober disclosure. Breezy's a slut.
And he likes it in the butt.
This episode is brought to you by Light Salon, Orange County's premier destination for expert hair color. At Light Salon, we specialize in creating stunning custom color transformations that highlight your natural beauty. Owned and operated by a passionate, sober stylist, we bring authenticity, creativity, and precision to every client experience.
Hey, hello everyone, I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are
Sober
Disclosure.
Oh, we have that down good.
We are so good. And this is where we disclose all of the nitty gritty stuff about your first year sober. And today I get to interview Jimmy.
I'm so nervous.
And this is about to be really hilarious. Because Jimmy does freaky shit.
I was like, you're vanilla and I'm Rocky Road.
I'm the
You're
racist.
vanilla. No, she's racist.
And you're freaky.
And I'm freaky.
And we just
Oh
got
my God.
canceled.
We just got canceled. Oh man, people call people the craziest shit.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jimmy, can you please give us a little rundown about how long you've been sober and how many times you've gotten sober specifically?
Yes. I got sober 2018.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn 7 in January. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5th time I've been in sobriety.
Okay.
I went in when I was 17.
Okay.
I was 17, turning 18, and I got pulled over for using drugs. And then I got driving under the influence of a controlled substance.
Oh, that was when you were 17?
When I was 17,
Okay.
turning 18, yeah.
Okay.
So I was put in jail at 17, but my birthday was the next day. So that was good because, I had my court date later on. I found a rehab. I was like, I need to get sober. I looked up Laguna Beach because of the show.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is what I did. I went on Ask Jeeves, that's dating me, because there was not Google.
I don't even know what that is.
Ask Jeeves is a search engine like Google.
Okay.
You're not that fucking younger than me.
I've never heard of Ask Jeeves, I don't know.
And so I put how to stop doing meth. That's what I put. And then a place that said Laguna Beach Rehab, and I'm like, oh, the show. And then I clicked it.
Oh.
And that's how I got into rehab. I had no one around me sober. I don't know what sober was. I didn't even know what a rehab was or anything.
So we had very different experiences.
Very different experiences.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did you stay sober at that time?
I went in it was a horrible rehab.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I know what rehabs are and everything, it was uncomfortable. This lady had her son run it, and it was expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Yeah, and my mom paid, and they kind of scholarshiped me a little bit, and I tried to get like my insurance to pay. At that time, they weren't taking stuff like that.
Okay.
It wasn't a thing. But yeah, I stayed there maybe like under 6 months maybe, and I got sanctioned to another place
Oh, shit.
because they didn't like me. And that place was the best place that ever happened to me.
Was that Yellowstone?
It was Yellowstone Recovery.
Oh, I knew it. Okay.
And I got in. I was next to people. At that time, it was homeless people from prison. It was just the worst and the best. It was just mix of everybody, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I have arrived.
I have
arrived. And I asked the owner, she's my favorite person, honey.
Yeah.
I said, can I stay here? She
Yeah.
goes, we usually don't let sanctions stay here. You know what a sanction is?
Yeah.
We don't let sanctions stay here, but let me see what I can do. And they didn't want me. I couldn't afford to pay more, so they're like, you can just have them, basically.
Yellowstone?
Yeah. And then Yellowstone was like, we'll take him.
Oh.
And, you know, I stayed there probably like almost 2 years.
Wow.
I stayed there. I loved it. I like grew up there. It was so nice. So I stayed there. You know, I was like, you know, assistant manager. I was doing all these things. And then I
Didn't want to be sober anymore.
didn't. No, this is what happened. I met a guy.
Oh.
I met a guy, and then I moved to Dallas with a friend that said he wanted to be my friend, but really wanted to sleep with me. And I stayed sober probably 2 years,
Okay.
and then I turned 21. And I was like, I never drank. I always did meth. I'm like, I need a drink.
Yeah.
I said, I want to buy a drink with my license.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that, but it's probably more other things in the background.
Yeah.
And that was just the excuse. And I was like, I went in and I bought a Cosmo because of Sex in the City. I'm like, I've never tasted a Cosmo. And I tried it.
Oh my God.
It was the worst taste in the world. I'm like, I don't know how people drink this.
All of Jimmy's life decisions are based off of TV
A TV
shows.
show. I know. Oh my God, you're right. Oh my God. Lagoon
Why did you
Beach.
become a hairdresser? Was there someone in a TV show?
Oh my God, that is so funny. But yeah, that's the beginning of the beginning.
Okay, so what was that? Because you actually did have a first year sober that year. What was that first year sober like compared to this round of sobriety's first year?
You know what? I was so young, and I didn't really pay attention to my feelings that much.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually really easy, to be honest with you. I was ready. I'd been doing meth since I was 14. I was ready. I was ready to be sober. I was having fun. That's what I was on a pink cloud.
Mm.
So nothing really bad happened other than like the uncomfortableness of being sober with people I didn't know, and you know, being at that rehab in the beginning that I was like the only gay guy, the only Mexican guy. At that time it was just all white people.
Yeah.
Like no one other than white people.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Checks
where am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who put me here?
Yeah, but I don't really. Yeah, the first year there is. Oh my God, you're right. I'm remembering so much now.
Mm-hmm.
I slept with a lot of people. There
At
was.
the Laguna Beach one?
Yes.
Probably straight men.
Yes.
Oh my God, stop.
And that's why probably they didn't like me and I got kicked out.
Because you were like turning straight boys into gay boys?
Kind of.
I was.
Which you can't do that.
No.
They were just
no.
probably experimenting.
They were experimenting, or they're ashamed of who they
Or
are.
they're ashamed of who
I
they are.
was just listening to a podcast yesterday.
Really?
About men who are in like the Hamptons or something. They're all married with children, and this gay guy will walk around and be like, slept with that one, slept with that one, slept with that one. And
It's
I'm
crazy.
like, I would love to hear
Oh my
those
God.
stories from you.
Ugh,
But not right now.
not right now. So there was this boy. Let's say his name is
Did you just say his name?
Let's say his name is Corey.
Okay.
And
Is that his real name?
no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you laughing? There is a Corey.
And literally we were friends. I didn't think anything of it. He kept like touching me and like making me feel his boner at meetings. And then all of a sudden the rehab takes us to the Angels game and he has a car. He goes, let's drive together. He tried to kiss me. And I'm like, this is like, I thought you were my friend. And I think back now and I'm like, I wish I would have kissed him.
And this was the first time you got sober.
This is the first time I got sober.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you were sleeping with other guys.
And then I was
in
sleeping
that
with other guys. Yes. I was
Okay.
sleeping with other guys. And that was kind of the start, like with you. Like I literally was doing drugs. I didn't really want to be in a relationship. And then guys liked me, but I was like maybe I kissed guys, but I wasn't like, let's have sex or anything. It was weird. I just wanted drugs. But when I was sober, it literally clicked, and I'm like, I want boys. You know? I want
I need
boys.
to fill the hole.
Yes.
Quite literally.
Yeah. I need to fill my hole. The one in my mouth, the one in my stomach, and the one in my butt.
What in your stomach?
You know, like the feeling of nothing, like your gut.
Oh, you're talking about your belly button. I'm like, what are you
Oh
doing
my
with the
God.
belly button?
That would be crazy.
What freaky shit did you do, Jimmy?
Well, and I
Your
wanted.
God-shaped hole.
Yeah, my
as well
God-shaped
as
hole.
the holes that God has given you.
Exactly. One, I'm saying that because that's the start of my routine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the routine that, you know, when you do your 4th step and you go through therapy and you talk to other people, you realize I do the same behavior except sober, you know, basically. The same emotions, the same everything. And, I asked a couple people. I was young. I'm like, should I move to Dallas with this guy? They're like, no, stay with your community and your circle. And I was like, no, I want to go. And I like doing what I want to do. And I go and I come back. And then I get sober. And then I meet a guy. I came back to Yellowstone and meet a guy. They tell me not to be with a guy. And then, the emotions come. I can't deal with the emotions. I relapse. I break up with the guy. And then so forth, like 3 or 4 more times. And I didn't really look at that until this time, or didn't want to until this time. And I always get like a sponsor that's easy, I think, And I noticed that. And
that was part of your pattern too.
It was part of my pattern, yeah.
Okay.
Part of my pattern is either getting a woman, because a woman and a gay guy, like they're best friends.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead, honey, whatever,
Yeah,
and I'm like smiling and, getting what I want in that reason, which is only killing me. And, and then I asked this one guy at my rehab that I thought was gay. And I was like, can you be my sponsor? He's like, yeah. And then we talked, and I was like, oh my God, I got this good gay sponsor. And I was telling everyone, and everyone's like, he's not gay, Jimmy. And I was like, what? So I went to my sponsor, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought, I was telling everyone I got a great gay sponsor. He starts dying. And I was like, great, now I have a straight sponsor. That probably make me do a lot of work.
Is this the sponsor you still have today?
No.
Oh, okay.
So from there, I learned a lot with this sponsor. He told me to write down my story, and that's when I started noticing the routine I was doing. Which that's why I did a lot of a lot of work in that part of sobriety, and I was kind of missing something, and I asked this guy. Someone took me to this meeting, the meeting you went to on Friday.
Scary.
It's scary, but I love it. So this guy is like, comes in, he's like, who the fuck are you? Tell me your story.
This is in your first year of sobriety this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then he's like, who the fuck are you? And he goes, oh great, another queer. I know, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of gay people in the meeting.
And that's so him.
Yeah, that's so him. And I like it because I played sports, I have brothers, people that say that to me,
You respect that in a way.
I don't care. And I know he means well, and that's just the way he talks. So I didn't get offended. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. And I was like, I like this meeting. I want to come all the time.
Yeah.
And that's when I started.
Yeah,
I do want to come all the time. And that's when I started focusing more on my emotional and spiritual side. So I think every year, is a different part of recovery.
Mm-hmm.
But the first year...
So wait, at what point in your sobriety journey did you meet him?
I met him right after my year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so did you kind of walk all over that first sponsor in your
I
first
walked
year?
all over the first sponsor, yeah. Because I didn't call, he wasn't call me every day. Or, I was like, let's do something. He didn't really,
Yeah, he didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, as a sponsor,
Yeah, I
you
would.
put in.
Yeah.
You put in as much as they're putting in.
Yeah.
Point blank. Period.
Yes.
Like it is not my job to keep you sober.
Yes.
So.
It's not, yeah.
So that's probably what he was saying. You guys were not a great fit.
We weren't a great fit.
So, as far as that first time getting sober and you were sleeping with everyone, this time around, were you doing that again?
No.
Okay.
So doing all this and everyone telling me not to do it, it was suggested to me to not do that again, obviously, like all the time. And I actually went to another program that deals with like sexual addictions and, codependency.
Like a 12-step program.
A 12-step program. And I went there for 5 months and I loved it and it was great. But I'm like, I think I'm more alcoholic, and if I do the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, then everything else will fix itself.
Yeah.
Basically, you know? And so then I got what I learned from there. I gave myself no sex, no relationships for 1 year. And I did it. Yeah. This time I did it. But right when that year hit, I had sex with somebody.
Oh.
No, I didn't date, but I did have sex with someone, and I was like, whatever. Like the power went away.
Yeah.
Because I waited.
Yeah.
I waited, and the emotional part of it, like, kind of left.
Yeah, you took the power
Yeah,
away.
I took the power away, and then when I did it, I was like, this is stupid.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I didn't get anything out of it other than, an orgasm, which feels good, but it didn't do anything emotionally,
Yeah, at that point you knew
that
better.
Yes, I knew better. I learned and everything. Yeah.
Did you feel like in that moment you had like an emotional relapse?
I did.
Term.
I know. I had an emotional relapse.
Yeah.
I did.
And you spotted.
I spotted it,
really
yes.
quickly, and it was like, oh,
And
I
I
don't
was
like the
like,
way that made me feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't like the way that made me feel. I will not do that again. And you know what? Also, I gave myself grace. Because I feel like a lot of times I would do things and I would kind of like with eating, like you said you had the eating disorder.
Mm-hmm.
I did too.
Yeah.
You eat bad, you feel bad, you eat more bad.
Yeah.
It's the same, like you fuck up, you feel bad, you keep fucking up, you relapse, you feel bad, you stay in it.
Yeah.
So I chose not to stay in it and kind of like moved on and like, okay, I did it.
What did I learn from it?
What did I learn from it?
Yeah.
Jimmy, it's okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Perspective.
And that was different.
Yeah.
That was different, yeah.
Oh, I love that. So did you go to treatment this time around?
So this time around, I did not.
Oh.
I did not go to treatment.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been there so many times.
Okay, you were just done.
I was done, but wait, I called Yellowstone and honey, and she goes, I don't think you need treatment. She goes, it doesn't work for you.
Period, honey.
And I like that they don't like, they don't like money take people, like money grab and stuff.
Yeah.
They literally were like, why don't you volunteer? They suggested it to me, not even my sponsor. She's like, why don't you volunteer 2 weeks here and 2 weeks, do 2 weeks of your job? So then I told my job, can I do 2 weeks? 2 weeks. They're like, yeah, this is when I was renting a chair at a salon. And that's what I did. I volunteered 2 full weeks at Yellowstone. I worked 2 full weeks. I lived with my mom and I slept in the living room on a beanbag because there was no more room in her house,
Mm-hmm.
And I was just coming in and I did that for a year.
Wow.
I did that my first year and
Did you do like the 90 meetings in 90 days? Or
I did not do that. I would never do that.
Oh my god, I did it.
You did it. That sounds miserable to me. But if it works for you, that's fine. But I will go insane. But basically, yeah, like I went to my meetings. I did the meetings that I was supposed to do, and I did that, and it kind of like that was what I did this time.
What was your, like, thinking back on your first year? What was your this most recent first year? What was your biggest character defect, and how did it show up in your first year? Like mine was ego and pride, and just like constantly thinking I was better than everyone. Journey's perfect.
That's actually a character defect. I can't think of anything.
Delulu.
You know what it was? It was. I think it was more like. Oh my god, that's a crazy question. I'm really trying. Like my mind is blank.
Yeah.
But I'm like trying to figure out what it really was. And.
Do you feel like you were like pretty healthy in your first year? Like it sounds like you
know what
done
it was?
so many times.
That's what it was. That's why it's hard for me.
What you needed to do.
Yeah, you know what? I gave up.
Yeah,
I gave up.
Finally surrendered.
And I finally surrendered. And it was more of like giving my will to my higher power, where I feel like, you know, the character defect that I had was more of probably giving my will over. It was difficult.
Ooh.
It was difficult to do that, even though I came in knowing all the stuff I did. It's coming to me right now. It was it was difficult, but I did it.
Yeah.
So meaning like you know, I had to practice and have no ego, and when it would come up, which it would come a lot, and then you know even when even when you would share, I'd be like, why am I sharing? Am I sharing for attention? Because I was going at a gay meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I would,
Attention-seeking.
attention seeking. I think I was attention seeking a lot. Things that I would never even like think of or think they were character defects were this time.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So little things like that, which are big, is like I would raise my hand and I'm like, why did I just share that? To make people laugh, to make people want to be my friend, not to help myself or other people.
Ooh.
So then someone shared that in a meeting this first time this year, and they're like, they said that. They said, why am I sharing? You have to be conscious. I have to be conscious about why am I sharing? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sharing to seek validation from these group of gay men. And another thing I did was I went to gay meetings when I normally wouldn't, because I was scared of other gay people.
Oh.
Because, you know, I have this thing of like gay guys being catty,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like being authentic with them. I've only slept with them. I've never had friends. So it was suggested to me to go to gay meetings and build a group of healthy gay friends, which I did.
Yeah.
But that first year, I would stay in the room when everyone went to go smoke on a break, or I would just not talk to anybody and just say hi to the people I already knew, or the people that had time because I know they would be nice, you know?
Yeah.
And I knew that I would never go outside and smoke with everyone because I was afraid.
Yeah.
So I think it came up differently, which that's a character defect too, you know?
No, absolutely.
I'm like, I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid. Because I was doing things I normally wouldn't do, like go to gay meetings. I was going outside the box, basically.
But you were doing things suggested of you.
That's what it was.
Anyways.
I was doing things suggested of me anyways, yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and having to move.
And I
through
didn't
all
pick
that.
and choose, yeah.
Yeah.
I usually pick and choose. Kind of like, you know,
Mhm.
like I'll do that, but not that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So you didn't have sex your first year. What was like the craziest thing that happened to you in your first year? This time. Did you do anything crazy?
I did. I do freelance hair.
Okay.
And my first year, I was on a photo shoot for Smirnoff, a vodka.
Okay.
And it was a huge shoot with, I think, David LaChapelle, which is a famous photographer. And it was like gay pride, like a huge ad. They had like, you know, Amanda Lepore and like all these like famous gay people. And then there was this production manager that I've known because I've worked with these crew people on set before. And I always thought he was so hot. And they made him be in the shoot, and it was like a 70s style shoot. And he had to wear these little shorts, and it was hot. It was hot, like outside. And so then I saw him wearing it, And I knew he wasn't wearing underwear because I was in the back and I saw him putting them on. And then after the end of the shoot, he took them off and left them on the ground. I stole them. I stole them so I can smell them. And then, but wait. And then I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm stealing. Like,
and sniffing.
And sniffing. So it's like whippets. Is that a relapse? Just kidding. I'm getting high off these shorts.
Pheromones. Yeah.
Pheromones. And I'm stealing. And so I threw them away.
Oh my
But I took them and I threw them away because I got freaked out.
Yeah.
And then in my meeting, in the gay meeting, I raised my hand. And I
you
was
shared
like,
about it.
I shared. I said, I stole these man's shorts. Everyone could not believe I was even sharing about it. But I had to.
Yeah.
I had to share about it because I'm like, I'm going to relapse.
But
I was scared.
I was going to say, but going back to what you just shared about, do you feel like you were doing it for attention?
I was doing it for attention.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
loved the story.
I loved the
Because it's
story.
a fucking iconic story.
I loved the story. I loved that everybody knew that I was on set, you know?
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying before is, you know, what did I notice? I think it was the, you know, pride, attention seeking. I'm going to show these gay people that I'm better than them, but not in sobriety, more in my everyday life. Because I relapsed and then things come to me really fast, you know? Like hair. I make money fast. Everything's, which is not good.
Yeah.
Because then that's like,
Which is probably why they suggested that you only do it part-time.
Exactly.
You don't make too much right away.
yes.
Yeah, that makes
And they
sense.
know me.
Mhm.
She's like, Jimmy, you make money. You think you're better than everybody else. So this is what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
2 weeks of what is it called when you help people?
Volunteering.
Volunteering.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks of your job. And
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Yeah. And going back to volunteering and helping people, why did you want to start Sober Disclosure?
So
It's a good segue.
it is a good segue.
Thank you.
So putting everything in perspective, all the work I've done, and I have like spiritual advisors, other than my sponsor, like I go in and ask other people that are like, you know, very intuitive, and I have like a therapist, but an intuitive therapist.
Mhm.
And, you know, everyone's always suggesting me, you know, to either write, start a podcast, or do something to share my experience with other people
Mhm.
because they feel like it would help other people. And that's been for years. I don't like to write. I don't like to read. And I don't like stuff like this, but because of the signs in my life that keep suggesting to do it, I have to do it now, you know?
Mm.
You know, so I have to kind of, so that was one part of it, is like, it's always been around me, always suggested, and I never did it
Yeah.
because I was scared.
Yeah.
And another one is being sober and, you know, having like the spiritual connection that I have now is I know I'm here to help other people.
Mm.
And that's my soul's purpose. And
Yeah.
that's, we can get into another thing about that, but I know that and I'm clear and I've always known that. I just forgot
Fought
about it. Or fought it,
Yeah.
and chose to forget about it. And so I'm leaning into that more because it keeps coming up.
Mhm.
And when you're sober, you start getting these signs, you know, like the signs that people are like, oh, it's like a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. You asked for help. You asked for things. And then, you know, it comes out in the universe and you
Yeah.
have to grab it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're not sober, if you're not like emotionally aware and everything, or physically and psychic and mentally, you cannot look at those
Yeah.
and follow them.
Yeah.
So that's a second part of it, is that. And then the third part was like, I can't do this alone. I'm like, I could, but I can't. And so it literally took me maybe 2 years of me thinking like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I wrote things down. I have phone notes about what I want. I like the books I want to write and everything. And I'm like, I don't want to do a hair podcast. And I don't want to do like because I listened to like a lot of spiritual ones. I want to do something a little more fun.
Yeah.
And then I met Breezy in like our softball, and then I saw what she did with Camp Soberfest, and I'm like, I feel like a podcast with Breezy telling everybody, or like, sharing with everybody our experience and like fun times and everything of sobriety is like kind of like the way to go.
Yeah.
So I think I didn't start it first because I was scared, but really because it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I thought of you, it was kind of like a click.
Yeah.
It was a click.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I knew it was right.
Yeah.
So I started all of this because of all of that. And then came, when I was at the Camp Soberfest, I was like, all these people, like there was 2 people that have never been to a meeting before, and they found out about Camp Soberfest through podcasts, right?
Yeah.
One guy did.
Yeah. Yep.
And through online, and I'm like, oh my God.
You actually can reach people that way.
You can reach people that way, and you can help people kind of find a community and a sense of self, which comes back to my spiritual side is making people like snap out of their delusion.
Yeah.
Kind of like what happened to me.
Yeah.
And I think this is more of like the way it's going too, like in the future.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so then that's why it literally clicked. I was
Yeah.
like, this is what it is. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do feel like it's so obvious too. Like when we're sitting here, we just flow so
That's
naturally.
true.
And it's like when you have had some time sober, you realize that like when things are hard, you're not supposed to do it. But like you're still in that thought process of like, well, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's just clearly not God's will.
Yeah.
And this was just like, oh, okay, we're just gonna do this. Like, sure, we hit some road bumps, but like,
yeah, that doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. I don't take that as like, oh, we weren't supposed to do this.
No, yeah. No, of course. Yeah. And that's how I live my life now.
Yeah.
Is, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm not going to rush into anything. Yeah. We recorded 5 episodes that only recorded
no one
13.
will ever see.
Yeah. Well, we are using them as clips, funny clips.
13 minutes of an hour and a half. But even that episode was not meant to be.
It was not meant to be.
These have been so much more in depth.
Yeah.
And just, So,
no, I agree.
We're so much more like together. Okay, that's amazing. And I just want to run it back. So, what was the first time? Did you ever have sex sober before you got sober?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I had sex sober before I got sober. Oh, meaning like when I was 14?
Like your first time getting sober was 17, right? Had you
Yes,
had sex before?
I did.
Sober?
Yes.
Oh.
But I don't...
I had in this one.
So I was in Boy Scouts.
Okay.
For years. I actually got up to my eagle and never did anything about it because the drugs were too good.
No way.
I know. And there was this really hot guy. His name was M. And we shared tents together and we just started wrestling. And then he got a boner. And I literally, I'm telling you this because this is the first time I had sex before sober. And I was 13. Okay. And he was like 13 or 14 maybe.
Okay.
And for some reason, I knew what to do. Like, I was never molested or anything. Like, I didn't know, but I grew up in a high sexual family, meaning my brothers were always like, I'm gonna fuck chicks,
Yeah.
It's like very open. My dad's like, oh, that girl's hot. Do you guys want to have sex with her? But that's like guy talk. You know? We wouldn't do that in front of my mom. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, let's have sex with her. So I took maybe that, and I was always so highly sex evolved. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I went
Did you watch porn back then?
I did watch porn. Oh my god, I did watch porn.
Okay, well, that's why you.
I did. Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
that's true.
Okay.
But I'm saying, what 13-year-old? I mean, some do, but I'm just saying, that's rare, even back then.
Yeah.
More back then. And so then I cleaned my butt, and then he had sex with me.
Oh my god.
and we had sex. But I'm saying that now because we did that all the time, every time we went on campouts. And so then
And you were always sober.
And then I found meth.
Oh.
And then meth and sex with me came like hand in hand.
Yeah.
And then I found out he was on meth.
Oh.
So we were on meth at the campout together,
Oh.
and we were having sex on meth.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was from, I don't know, it was like,
Off to the races.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
So-
how it happened.
So when you had sex for the first time in sobriety, was it any different for you?
Yes. Yes.
Because now there's like emotions involved.
Yes and no, because you're talking to a gay man. So emotions with me?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Oh,
like
okay.
you're
Not with I didn't have
discovering-
emotions with those.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Just like you're discovering yourself for the first time.
Yeah. So because of watching the porn and having sex like the way that happened, when I first had sex, I felt like it was gonna be like a porn, and I was like, you know. So then I think I maybe did more than I wasn't sensual. I wasn't anything. It was really awkward. You know, I thought it was gonna be a certain way, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is boring. He wants to, like, caress my face and, like, you know, and, like,
You wanted to make
cuddle.
love.
And I'm like, this is sex? Now I know that is sex.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
I was, like, so stimulated and, like, what is it called when you, like, just don't know what that is? I don't know. I didn't know what he was doing, and I'm like, this is so boring.
I would say you were just very emotionally stunted
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
emotionally stunted, yeah.
because you did not want any sort of emotions attached.
I did
to
not
it.
want anything. I thought, you know what it is? I thought men were just used to have sex with.
Mm.
You know?
Mhm.
I don't know. That's what I just thought. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't have gay friends. I'm like, other gay guys are just to have sex with.
Yeah.
And then I have, like, girlfriends and guy friends. But
Yeah. That was straight.
then that's why I never really had gay friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting. But
That's
not
a whole
anymore.
other story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, my first year now is crazy because I did know a lot, but I didn't know a lot. And I think it was more on the emotional side of things and spiritual side more than like the to-dos,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
I don't
Did
know.
you-
Did that make sense?
So when you finally started going to gay meetings, did you find that there was a lot more drama in the rooms in the gay meetings?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same, you know, it's the same as straight meetings. I've
Yeah.
noticed it's all just the same.
It's all drama.
It's
You're
all
surrounded
drama.
by newcomers
If you're surrounded by, if you're surrounded, or people that have time,
that are just not working.
that are not working a good program. Like, I heard people in the rooms laughing at other people. I heard people in the rooms laughing at me because I read really fast because I'm so nervous. And that's what I was afraid of, is being laughed at.
Mm.
And it happened. And I survived.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Oh my God. I'm like having a
Flashback.
flashback. And I do forget a lot of things. And as I talk, I remember.
Yeah.
Is I would speed read through things because I was so nervous, and I hear people laughing at me. And I felt really sad. I felt really sad, but then you know what? I kept doing it.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of got over that.
And you got better.
And I got better, and I still read fast.
Oh. But I
And
don't
people,
care.
but I don't care, and people laugh.
Yeah.
But they're laughing because it's funny.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, because I know them, they're like, it's funny.
Yeah.
So maybe they were just laughing because it was funny and not because...
But when you're in your first year, you're taking
everything
everything personal.
And that's another thing. My first year, I took everything personal.
Same. I
Um,
thought everyone was talking about me. Everyone was looking at me. Everyone was about me.
yeah.
And it was.
And so that didn't change. And I'm saying that didn't...
Shots fired.
No! That didn't change, even though I knew what I knew.
Yeah.
So I knew what I knew with other things, like don't have sex.
Yeah.
But then that's still the same. Until, you build up to not thinking everything's about you. Oh my God. That is funny. You're like this.
You're like in that song subject, you think everything's about you.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is so funny. My cheeks hurt.
Oh my god. Okay, so do you have any words of wisdom, advice, anything for those that are going through their first year right now and they're struggling?
Don't have sex because you will get pregnant. That was a quote from Mean Girls. You know when the teacher, he's like, okay guys, don't have sex because you will get pregnant.
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have sex with it.
Yeah.
Words of advice is what I tell everyone, because a lot of people have been calling me and like kind of beating themselves up about like, you know, doing things like someone like I guess was crushing on a newcomer. It turned into something else. They felt so bad about it. And I said, my words of advice is give yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give yourself grace where it makes it okay to do something you're not supposed to do. Yeah, doing the behavior. But if you're doing it, if you do it and you finally realize that it's not good, or, you know, if you're doing it because of other reasons and it happens, just move on.
Yeah.
Tell somebody right away, you know, this person called me, called my husband, called their sponsor, and then gave it away. And the thing I told him was, don't feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel bad. It happened already. Don't do it again. You know, and just kind of learn from this experience, because he spun out of control.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, now I'm thinking about using because of this one kiss with a newcomer, and he has like over a year. And it's like he kind of felt bad because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's tell people to leave them alone, you know?
Right, right.
And so I was like, don't feel bad, you know? The thing to do is go to the newcomer and say, you know what, you're a really great guy. You know, you need to stay sober. I'm sorry that this happened. And, you know, let's just be friends. And let me show you how being a friend in sobriety is, you know, and change it around fast.
Mm-hmm.
Before it gets weird, you don't want to go to your meetings again. This is what I told him.
Yeah.
So my advice is fix it right away. Tell somebody right away, you know, that you trust, and give yourself grace, you know, because shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
Shit's going to happen. You're going to steal underwear or shorts. You know, you're going to sleep with someone in rehab when you're not supposed to. Shit's going to happen. It's like, what are you going to do after?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What are you going to do after?
Absolutely. Don't think that the drink or the drug is going to solve
No,
the
it
problem.
won't.
It's
It'll get
not.
worse.
It's going to get
Don't
so
use
much worse.
No matter what. Well, thank you so much, Breezy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
This
I
is
love
Jimmy.
learning so much about you.
This is Jimmy.
And I'm Breezy.
And
And
this
we
is
are
Sober Disclosure.
Are you or someone you know looking for support in recovery? Taste Recovery is your go-to directory for sober resources. Whether you're searching for treatment centers, sober living communities, Taste Recovery connects you with the right tools and support to help you on your journey. With a user-friendly platform and a comprehensive list of resources throughout the United States, Taste Recovery makes finding the help you need easier than ever. Start building your path to a healthier, sober life today. Visit tasterecovery.com to find the resources that work for you. Taste Recovery, your first step to a lasting positive change.